So what is a de facto relationship? The lines can be a little blurred, and in terms of law and separation, it may not mean what you think. So today we're going to go through the definition when a relationship is considered to be de facto and when it's not. So tell me, Nardine, what is the difference between a de facto relationship and a marriage?
So what is a de facto relationship? Firstly, what it isn't when you've lived together for 6 months. It's actually 2 years in the Family Law Act. And it means living together as if you were a married couple.
So it's not just like I've been there 4 days?
No. And
some people go think, oh, the girlfriend can only sleep over 3 nights a week, otherwise we're considered de facto. So that's not it. It's like 100% moved in 7 days a week.
There have been cases where it's been considered a de facto relationship and they've had 2 separate residences, but they're pretty exceptional circumstances. And I think that case they'd had joint bank accounts and pretty much they had good reasons for having 2 separate houses, but really they were living together as if they were husband and wife. So obviously a marriage is a marriage. You know, you have this lovely ceremony that you pay lots of money for and have a wonderful day, and then you are officially married. It's a legal term of marriage, and de facto relationship doesn't have that. But in the terms of the Family Law Act, there's pretty much not any difference between being a de facto and being a married couple in terms of being able to access the family law provisions and the Act and the court. Excuse me. The only thing is that you have to have been living together for 2 years before you can come to the court as a de facto couple. But there are exceptions, like everything in law. And one of those exceptions is if you have children together, and the other is if you've made, it's called significant contributions towards the property. Then the court is going to say, all right, you've only been living together for 6 months, but you know, you paid the deposit for this house, therefore it would be unfair if we didn't let you come to court to sort out your property.
Yeah. So what are some myths then about de facto relationships?
Well, the first one is the length of it. That's probably the most common one. And the other one is that it is different, and that if you are a de facto, you don't have to have a property settlement. You can just end your relationship and not bother about, a formal property settlement. That's not true. So de facto couples can go to the family court and say, we've separated and I want our property to be divided, and just as much as a married couple can. So just because you're de facto doesn't mean you can ignore the usual advice that we would give at the end of a relationship. If you have property together, you need to sort it out and do it so that it's binding and it's a formal settlement.
So what are people entitled to then if their de facto relationship ends?
Yep, same as if you're married. So it depends on what your contributions are, it depends on what your needs are, if you've got children, all of the same things apply. Exactly the same things apply now in the Family Law Act, applies to de facto relationships. Used to be separate, you had different laws for de facto and married couples. I can't remember when it changed, it was a while ago, but the law was changed such that you could, as a de facto couple, come into the family law system and have the same rules apply.
Okay, so whether you are going through a separation following a marriage or a de facto relationship, each brings their own challenges. To find out what you're entitled to, don't hesitate to speak with the experts at Collier Lawyers. They'd love to help you today.